In the labyrinthine alleys of the Grand Bazaar, where the air thickens with the aroma of cinnamon and silk whispers against your skin. But beneath these vibrant stalls lurks a darker secret. Ancient cisterns, vast underground chambers, where Byzantine merchants hoarded fortunes in gold and secrets alike. How did these hidden vaults fuel the rise and fall of empires? Let's descend into the shadows of Istanbul, following the thread of history that weaves through its very foundations, a tale of cunning choices, miraculous rebirths, and unbreakable conquests that still echo today. Picture a Greek general, salt-crusted cloak billowing in the Bosporus wind, staring at a barren peninsula in 657 BC. No lush fields stretched before him, no abundant springs bubbled from the earth. Why then did these colonists from Megara ignore fertile shores elsewhere to plant their flag on this harsh outcrop? The answer lay not in what the land offered, but in what flowed past it, a secret of geography that would forge the destiny of nations. This bit of land choked the vital strait between the Black Sea and the Mediterranean, where treacherous currents and winds funneled every ship into a natural trap. Ancient vessels, laden with Black Sea grain or Eastern spices, couldn't fight the southbound rush. They had to dock, wait weeks for favorable winds, and pay hefty tolls to the clever Greeks. Those first stone walls? They weren't just barriers, they were toll booths guarding the gateway to Eurasian trade. Stand on today's Galata Bridge and you'll feel it still. Massive tankers twisting through the same restless waters, a modern echo of those waiting fleets. Within decades, Byzantium buzzed with commerce, Scythian wheat piling in warehouses, Thracian timber stacking high, Egyptian linen unfurling in markets. Fishmongers haggled over Black Sea catches, while officials skimmed their share, turning transit into treasure. This wasn't luck. It was a bold gamble on movement itself. When Persian armies thundered at the gates or Roman eagles circled overhead, they coveted the same prize. Control of this bottleneck meant dominion over trade routes spanning continents. The Greeks had built on rock-solid logic, one that outlasted empires. Walls would crumble, names would change, from Byzantium to Constantinople to Istanbul, but that eternal crossroads? It remained the city's beating heart, drawing dreamers and conquerors alike through the ages. Now envision Emperor Constantine in 324 AD, gazing over a sleepy harbor town where fishing boats bobbed lazily. Rome's ancient glory was fading in the west, plagued by barbarians and decay. Why risk everything on this modest Greek outpost, lacking palaces, aqueducts, or even enough bread for a court? Because Constantine saw not what was, but what could be. A new Rome rising from the mud, forged in a frenzy of ambition that defied the impossible. He didn't merely expand, he reinvented. Roman engineers carved straight streets through tangled alleys, while ships groaned under loads of Egyptian marble for grand forums. 50,000 Gothic captives, chains clanking, hauled limestone for walls that would defy time itself. The pace was relentless. In mere months, bathhouses steamed with hot springs diverted from afar, and markets swelled with diverted grain shipments meant for old Rome. People poured in, craftsmen lured by tax exemptions, nobles tempted by prime land, refugees escaping Western chaos. Constantine's free bread rations bound them tight, mirroring Rome's ways, but with a twist: loyalty to this Eastern beacon. Churches sprang up like mushrooms after rain. The first Hagia Sophia soared in just 5 years, its dome a bold proclamation of Christian might. Neighborhoods coalesced around these holy anchors, where prayers mingled with the chatter of a dozen tongues. The hippodrome roared to life, seating 80,000 for chariot races under Egyptian obelisks, their ancient carvings, a trophy of imperial reach. Yet cracks hid beneath the shine, hasty bricks crumbled under veneers, water shortages sparked riots, and cultural clashes simmered between Greeks and Romans. Constantine's vision was a high-stakes bet. Could a harbor hamlet truly eclipse the eternal city? By his death in 337, the miracle had taken root. Footsteps echoed in marble halls, merchants bartered in bustling ports, and the city pulsed with life. What started as one emperor's daring dream had sparked an idea too potent to extinguish. A capital reborn, whispering promises of power to all who would listen, and to those who would one day seek to claim it. Dawn breaks on April 5th, 1453, shattered by the boom of cannons that shake the very heavens. Young Sultan Mehmed II, barely out of his teens, stares at Constantinople's legendary walls, 3 mighty layers of stone and tower, unbreached for a millennium. Armies had shattered against them before. Persians, Arabs, even Crusaders in 1204. What hidden edge did this Ottoman prodigy wield to topple the untouchable? The Theodosian walls loomed like giants. 4 miles of interlocking defenses from sea to horn, arrows raining from perfectly spaced turrets. Mehmed struck first at the mind, not the stone. When Byzantines chained the Golden Horn to block his fleet, he countered with audacity. Under moonless skies, 70 ships were dragged over hills on oiled logs, reappearing behind enemy lines at dawn. The city awoke to horror, an armada conjured from thin air. But Mehmed's genius danced in the details. His colossal cannon, the Basilica, hurled boulders at one fragile spot near the Corinthian gate. Day after punishing day, sappers burrowed tunnels below, clashing with Byzantine miners in pitch-black brawls. He toyed with their spirits. Prisoners shielded Ottoman lines. Eerie horns wailed through sleepless nights, wearing down the defenders' resolve. The final stroke fell on May 29th, Easter Monday, when fasting Byzantines reeled from exhaustion. Waves of troops surged, irregulars soaking up arrows, elite janissaries storming the breach. A forgotten open gate, the Kerkoporta, became the fatal flaw. Ottoman banners soon fluttered atop the walls. The city yielded, but Mehmed entered as heir, not vandal. He safeguarded Hagia Sophia, veiling its Christian mosaics while adding minarets, blending faiths in stone. This wasn't brute force. It was a symphony of strategy, turning walls into weaknesses and despair into defeat. In 53 days, Mehmed achieved the impossible, absorbing Constantinople's soul into his new Istanbul. The old world ended not in flames, but in a whisper of reinvention, a legacy that still beckons conquerors of curiosity today as a modern tram whispers past a weathered Byzantine column, only to reveal the graceful curve of an Ottoman mosque. Istanbul unfolds like a living manuscript, into Hagia Sophia, where your souls tread coronation marbles mere feet from a sultan's prayer alcove. This isn't a relic, it's a conversation across centuries, where spice vendors haggle atop ancient warehouse foundations and commuters cross bridges that once bore imperial triumphs. What endures here isn't frozen history, but a resilient alchemy, each era building on the last, from Greek tolls to Roman domes to Ottoman ingenuity. Istanbul doesn't just remember, it reinvents, stone by stone, inviting you to listen to its whispers. For in this eternal crossroads, the past isn't buried, it's alive, waiting for the next chapter to unfold. If these whispers have captivated you, subscribe for more tales from forgotten cities. Like and share if Istanbul's story stirred your wanderlust. Until next time, keep listening to the echoes of history.